Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I am back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time, we essentially did manage to finish the game by simply going through the final stretch of the entire main game, which as a result, we somehow managed able to explore into the Windfish's egg, and able to figure out the correct paths, which pretty much leads us to the final boss in the game, which appears to be none other than not only one, but 5 different nightmare types. So as a result though, and we somehow awakened the Windfish. So, yeah, the game is complete after all. Well, here's the thing though, as a result though, as I said this before, since in around 2 days ago, the Let's Play itself is not exactly over yet, because today, this is gonna be one last true final video for the sake of this Let's Play anyway, and as a result, welcome to the extra video for The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake. So, there's actually quite a few extras I would like to show off. So, for instance though, is about the fact that you do realize there is actually not one, but 2 difficulties you can select, ranging from normal mode, which is a pretty standard classic difficulty, and there's also the hero mode, where basically hero mode is basically the hard mode in the game, where basically though is about the fact that you do more damage than anything, and on top of all that stuff though, there's no healing items whatsoever. So this means you can't able to actually try to get some more hearts if you keep on getting hit by certain enemy encounters and stuff like that. So as a result though, is about the fact that, well, generally speaking though, is about the fact that you can't able to actually unlock this right from the start though, if you manage to first time playing for this game. Unlike the forms of how it does it on some Zelda games, so you do need to unlock this by simply trying to able to beat the game once, but as a result though, there's nothing else I could really say about it. Well, apart from the fact that there was actually that one tiny recommendation if you're trying to tackle for the game on hero mode. If you're trying to complete the color dungeon, for instance, I would highly recommend you able to try to get or select the blue tunic. So as a result though, your defense will be a lot more higher than the forms of how it does it if you're trying to select the red tunic. So anyway, so that pretty much does it for the hero mode. Aside from the fact that if you do manage to able to select hero mode, you do realize about the fact on the bottom left corner, you might able to actually see the particular devil kind of icon, which you might as well able to see what happens for yourself. So as you can tell, we ended up in the forms of the name entry screen right here, because there was actually not 1, not 2, but 3 different song jingles, if depending on what specific name you typed in. Like for example, we actually come across into this particular theme in the background, which in order to able to activate that particular music in the background is that you need to type in Zelda's name. Despite the fact that Zelda was not in this game, well, besides the forms of that familiar brand, but as a result though, that's one of the first of one of those secret songs you can able to actually activate. And there's also the second song where you can able to activate by simply typing a different name, which this time what appears to be Marin, the main protagonist for the sake of the forms of Link's Awakening, aside from Link himself, especially concerning for the fact that for plot convenience and stuff like that. So yeah, you pretty much know exactly how to expect at this point. So, but anyways though, quick things I want to mention about this is about the fact that, well, today's date of course there is the 24th of October today, in some cases in 2024 today, not only for the fact that we've only got about 1 week left until we're about to be approaching on to Halloween, but it's also about the fact that until tomorrow, after this video releases or something like that, well, Sonic X Shadow Generations is expected to be releasing until tomorrow. But here's the catch though, is about the fact that it's probably best if we let Maxi will mention more about it if he goes back on playing through Luigi's Mansion 2 until tomorrow, and it's especially noticeable concerning for the fact that he's almost done with the entire game before we move on to the last batch of Let's Plays for, you know, 2024, before we move on to next year. So either way though, and there's also the third and the final secret song where you can able to actually decide able to activate by simply typing this particular Tataki key or anything else like that. So basically it's about the fact it's one of those familiar Tataku songs you might able to come across into for some Nintendo games. So relatively speaking, I was about the fact that you might able to actually hear that particular very odd tune, but regardless of such though, it's about the fact it's a nice little secret regardless. So either way though, so yeah, that pretty much does it for that particular name entry secrets on the actual file selection screen as far as this is concerned. But, yeah, that's as far as we can able to say about that particular first extra thing, or specifically 2 extra things so far. So the next extra thing we need to show off is that we're about to be hitting back onto my specific file right here, and as a result, though, we can able to actually show off some tiny little bits of extras here and there. Now, remember I mentioned about this before, during the informs within the past few parts ago, that normally about the fact that we can able to actually guarantee to get ourselves the final figurine once we able to actually hit off to the final boss in the game. Well, that's not the case, because in order able to actually unlock the final figurine, which as a result though, we ended up back in the forms of the Windfish's egg, by the way. So relatively speaking, that was about the fact that obviously though, we can able to actually have a rematch with the forms of the nightmares again if you wanted to, but of course we're probably not going to do that because, you know, we've already done it. So anyway, so let's head back, and as a result though, we can now able to actually try to get the final figurine in this entire remake, which as a result though, as soon as you're able to actually get all of the figurines in this entire remake of the game, obviously though you will able to actually guarantee to get yourselves a bit of a interesting reward, to say the least. So, but that's besides the point. So, anyway though, so, as far as I'm aware, is about the fact that there's also another thing worth mentioning for, is that also until tomorrow, that Banjo-Tooie is going to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack until tomorrow. So this also means about the fact that if you really want to experience multiplayer for online, well, you can now do that, especially concerning for the fact that, well, like I said before, it's probably best if we let Maxi will mention more about it until tomorrow. So anyway, so as you can see, there's the final figurine right here, which is none other than Bow Wow himself. So because of that though, again, in order to able to get that particular figurine, you need to beat the game once, as soon as you're able to realize, oh, don't tell me I somehow messed this up, didn't I? Oh, that's a great way to start things off for this particular Trinity game, and in fact that luckily though, this will be the final time to able to experiencing this particular Trinity game, especially concerning for the fact that, like I stated before, we're about to be trying to able to get ourselves this godforsaken final figurine, if we decide able to try to grab it in the exact right moment, but if it doesn't work out, then, oh jeez, it's not gonna work, isn't it? At least it did roll off this particular moving platform, so that's something, alright. Okay then, I guess there's nothing else I could really think about. Although there's also another thing worth mentioning for, actually. It's about the fact that we've only got about 2 weeks left now until Mario Luigi Brothership is going to be releasing for the Nintendo Switch. And also I did manage to able to find out about the fact that we actually got ourselves some more recent news in regards to the films of Mario Luigi Brothership, which actually, as it turns out, is about the fact that not only is it going to run on Unreal Engine, much like the films of how it does it on Pikmin 4, Yoshi's Crafted World, and especially noticeable with recently with Princess Peach Showtime. So as a result though, it's kind of interesting to say the least. But it's also about the fact that it's actually been revealed about the fact that the entire game is going to be developed by a different developer, which appears to be Acquire, who is also responsible for Octopath Traveler. So yeah, I do apologize for that tongue twist in the end, folks, but that's just mainly because it's been about 2 days ago since I actually have last played this game for sure, especially concerning for the fact that recently though, for what I've heard anyway, that Blaze the Cat did recently done the updated version of the Nintendo DS game collection. So just to ensure for the fact that, well, it might not be the final update for sure, just because, well, as soon as we're able to actually fill up the entire shelf, that actually signifies that will be a true definition of the final update in regards of the forms of those specific collections as far as this is concerned. So either way though, so yeah, we somehow managed able to guarantee to not only get ourselves some more rupees, but also we got ourselves the final figurine in the entire game. So once we're done with that, as I stated before, we might able to get ourselves the most interesting reward, which as a result, let's see what rewards we might possibly get out of this particular figurine grinding. It's a Chamber Stone. So, yeah, nothing particularly that special, aside from the fact that much like the defaults of how it does it for if you're trying to collect all 50 of those secret seashells, obviously though, the reward, if you managed able to do all that, it was also the Chamber Stone. So, relatively speaking though, at the very least we got some out of it though, but regardless of anything else though, as I stated before, I don't think it's possible for us to able to actually guarantee to get every single Chamber Stones, because obviously though, it requires a lot of grinding for, not only grinding for some more rubies, but it's especially noticeable concerning for the fact that if you're really up for the challenge when it comes to Dungeon Maker mode, well, that'll be the best option for you, especially concerning for the fact that if you're trying to do the remaining challenges for the Dungeon Maker, well, obviously though, if you manage to accomplish one of those dungeons in particular, obviously though, the reward you do get, that's what appears to be by the forms of the gold ruby, which is of course worth you 300 rubies. So, yeah, that's something, I suppose. So, either way, though, so I'm actually going to be saving my other save file right here, because, as far as I'm aware, much like the defaults of how it does it on the Game Boy / Game Boy Color version, that I don't suppose if you noticed, but as soon as you're able to start your adventure up, you're able to actually get yourselves the earliest game over, and during the defaults of this one specific thing, and that's what it appears to be, stealing your item from the actual shop. So, because of this, though, you see that particular item that I was expecting to try to get it for free? Well, obviously though, if I can't be bothered able to do a lot of grinding, well, obviously though, take this part for instance, is about the fact that if we decided able to choose the Chamber Stone, which as a result you can get that for free, but here's the catch though, is about the fact that in order to able to get this item for free, you need to do a bit of a quick timing section when it comes to likely trying to able to bypass this particular guy right there. But here's the thing though, it's actually way more trickier in a remake over the likes of the original, plus it's mainly because no matter what though, if you try to do it well enough, obviously though it's about the fact that something bad is about to happen, especially concerning for the fact that, well, you get the idea for this point. But since we somehow succeed for this particular, stealing that particular item, well, obviously though it's about the fact that something is about to happen if you dare manage to go back into the shop, and also, if you talk to Marin right here, she'd actually calls you a thief, which as a result though, meaning about the fact that you couldn't pay for rubies, so as a result though, yeah, I believe every single townspeople, as far as I'm aware, will basically now call you a thief. So because of that though, I can assure you that could also applies for Dampy as well, if I recall correctly, but I digress. So, yeah, as a result though, it was about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, it was about the fact that, well, you assuming about the fact that you somehow managed able to deal with it, right? Well, if you go back in, obviously though, he will try to able to kill you instantly. So this means, well, it doesn't matter how many hearts you have, so he just basically takes every single heart away. In addition to that though, if you do have your secret medicine, well, you cannot revive that at all. So because of that though, yeah, there's our game over right there. So, but of course, as I said this before, if you dare get a game over once, you will not be able to see the secret ending. So because of that, though, I just want to classify that. And also, the death counter has been raised up to 1. So yeah, I just want to classify that for that particular secret thing I want to address something in the window. Or specifically, just in this particular description. So, but I digress. But there's also another thing I want to show off, actually, and that's what appears to be about the fact that, as I mentioned this before, that this game does support amiibo functionality, but all it does, though, if you really want to go out of your way to try to able to give yourselves a specific amiibo, which, actually, as it turns out, is what appears to be buddy forms of, well, the Link amiibo from The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake, mind you, well, obviously, though, is about the fact that, in terms of the actual amiibo design and what it actually looks like, by the way, well, it may look like it's actually a very simple figurine where it shows Link standing completely still, but what you can do with it though is that this will only be usable on the Dungeon Maker mode, and if you try to scan that specific amiibo, basically this actually triggers the another gimmick hazard, which appears to be the familiar Shadow Link, which as a result though, it seems kind of cool and interesting, or technically Dark Link as what it's normally called, but regardless of such though, it's about the fact that if you do manage able to come across into Dark Link, basically though you can able to actually fight against him, but if you do manage able to realize about the fact that as soon as you're able to actually let him fall down to the pit, he will respawn. However though, if you do want able to finish him off, like as was shown here, not only does it grant you some more rubies, but as well as some fairies too. So yeah, that's why I classified that for that particular secret right there. So yeah, that's as far as we can able to show off in terms of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake for the Nintendo Switch. As I stated before, I absolutely adore this game so much. Even for the remake, I felt I was a little bit more appreciated with that particular stuff, especially concerning for the fact I can still able to recommend it, despite there was actually one glaring issue I have with it, and that's what it appears to be. Of course, the frame rates will sometimes drop a bit, but that's my only main gripe I have with this remake compared to the forms of how it does in the originals. So yeah, apart from those aside things though, let's play this Ballad of the Windfish for one final time until we somehow managed able to finish up the entire Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this game basically, so yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. Now, in terms of the forms of my next Zelda game I'm decided able to tackle through next, I might wait on that for a while, especially concerning for the fact that after all we are almost getting very close towards the end of 2024 before we move on to 2025. So let me know in the comments down below if what specific Zelda game should I tackle through next, because I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. So yeah, not much else I can really say about it. So yeah, this is me, Ray the Flying Squirrel, and I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys, as to be expected. So until then, I will see you guys and join at some point in the future. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye!